Let's solve part C now. So what is the most that we're willing to pay for this insurance policy? Well, let's see. What's the intuition here? Well, if we're willing to pay for an insurance, and that would be the most that we're willing to pay, then in expectation, we must have the same benefit, the same utility from having the insurance than from not having the insurance. Meaning that the expected utility when we would pay for an insurance must be equal to the expected utility from having no insurance. Now we know the expected utility from having no insurance. We calculated in the previous video or 2 videos ago. That would be equal to 11.64. So we have one data. 11.64 would be the expected utility of having no insurance. So that would be over here. But what would be the expected utility of having the insurance? Because we want to find out the insurance level. Well, since the utility is equal to ln of 4 times I, we would have ln of, let me play right with the brackets now, 4 times, and what would be in the income level? Well, in the income level, we would have $30,000 as our income per year, so $30,000, but then we would pay a certain premium, and let's call that premium P. 30,000 minus P, close that and close that again. Yes, now this is right. Okay, we can move on. What can we do? And by the way, just one thing over here, why don't we work with probabilities? Why don't we do all that 0.05 times expected utility thing? Well, because we are insured. So even though we get injured, we would get back the losses that we have. We don't have to take into account the probability of being injured because we are covered for it. That is the intuition. So that gives us certainty that yes, we will keep our $30,000, but in exchange for the premium that we pay. Hope this makes sense. Now, with that said, what do we have here? We would have the logarithm of, and we open the brackets, 4 times 30,000. That would be 120,000 minus 4 times the premium. So minus 4p, close that, and it's equal to 11.64. So that would be equal to 11.64. Now, how can we go next? It's about, doing some math over here. Well, we have the logarithm on the left side, and we know that in an equation we can apply the same thing on both sides. So if we take e to the power of this thing, we will cancel out the logarithm. So we would have e raised to both powers, because again, we have to do it on both sides. Here we would have ln of 120,000 minus 4p, and over this side we would have e to the power of 11.64. Now, as we said, we did that to cancel out the ln with e, so we're left here with 120,000 minus 4p is equal to e raised to all that number. Well, that gives us a value that's going to be a number, and if we work it out on the calculator, that would be 100 where was it? Just a second. 113,550.16. Now, what do we do next? Well, next we just find out the p. If we take this number on the other side and divide it by 4, then the premium, actually let me do it step by step so it's more visible. 120,000 minus all this number is equal to 6,449.8, and that's equal to, we take the premium to the other side, so that's equal to 4p. Now if we divide both sides by 4, what do we get as a result? Well, the premium that we're maximally willing to pay would be equal to $1,612.4, meaning that if the insurance charges us more than that, then in expectation we are worse off buying that policy instead of not buying it. So that is the most that we can pay. Hope this makes sense, and we are done.